When will you marry? This year, next year, sometime or never? Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. For those joining us for the very first time, welcome. My name is Grace Gigi and here on YouTube I create videos on fashion, lifestyle and general chit-chat that you and I can relate to. Please do me one big favor, hit the subscribe button, click on the bell and also click on all so that every time I put out a new video, you'll be the first to know. This video is a story time video. Yeah, it's a story time video. It's something that happened to me and the topic is marriage. What is it about this thing called marriage? Let me just give you a small backstory. I went to a primary school that is directly opposite my house. I just wanted you guys to know where my primary school is so that as I proceed with this story time, you understand what I mean. This is Malam where we buy stuff from. His name is Garaba. He's down the road, his kiosk. So we go there to buy stuff like soda, biscuits, detergent, anything. You know those Malams that have those kiosks. I was walking down to get, I wanted to buy a drink and wafers from the Malam, and I bumped into an old classmate of mine. And by old, I don't mean uni, I don't mean secondary school, primary school. And like I said, my primary school was right opposite my house. So if you were in my class, you already know where I live. And she goes, you're still here? How are you? And in my mind, I'm like, I'm still here. What if I came to visit my parents? But anyway, that's not the gist. We exchanged pleasantries, the whole, it's been so long, how are you, blah, blah, blah. Everything is going well. Until she goes, oh, I follow you on your socials, your Twitter, your Instagram. And she comments me on my what I'm doing, my content. I'm like, oh, thank you and everything. And then she proceeds to say, now this is where things get interesting. How is your husband and the kids? You're lucky, your husband allows you post so much on social media. Like, her husband would not even allow her when she wanted to do a business. And you know how it is on Instagram now. If you're not really showing your face as a business owner, people get uncomfortable because they think it's scam, which I understand. Another story time of how I got scammed on Instagram. And I'm looking at her like, you know when in cartoon the character hits their head and you hear that was me. She's just talking like posting on social media. She's asking me how it goes, blah blah blah. And I'm just waiting for her to land so that I can reply her. And when she's done, and I'll tell her, I'm not married. I don't have kids. Her reaction was the most hilarious thing I've seen in a very, very long time. So let me go back so that I'll add the reaction. And I go, oh no, I'm not married, I don't have kids. She goes, don't tell me that. Please, come and help me see. Why would you say that? She now pulls me close. Nigerians, it's in our body. We don't like to mind our business. And she's like, that okay, is it that I was married before and something happened? And I'm like, oh no, I've never been married and I've never had kids, I don't have kids. And she's like, This is where I started getting, I won't say annoyed, but slightly irritated. Why now? We're classmates. And she was trying to say that being classmates, she kind of knows like my age and she would expect that by now I'll be married. Why? I don't know. Society, norm, narrative, Bosha. And she's going, that's the problem with you fine girls. Like people are too picky. I just know that there are no good men like that out there. And I'm like, what a wow. This one just assumed all the things that she has told me and just believes that that is the reason why I'm not married. Then she proceeds to tell me that her husband has 5 friends and she could hook me up. Oh, she also mentioned that my biological clock was ticking. Never in a million years would I have thought that somebody would say these things to me. And I say this because I come from a family where I have 4 siblings, and the 4 of them are married. And my parents have never, ever in my how many years on earth called me or any of them. Now, I might be wrong. They might have had this conversation with them, but not with me. And I highly doubt it that my parents have had this conversation with any of my siblings. That they will call you and say, "Nne," or "Brother, come and sit down. Let's have a talk." And they'll say, you know, now you finish school, you're at a certain age, you should be thinking about getting married. It has never happened, not in my house. Now, what has happened is maybe during general family prayers, you hear things like, oh, when the time is right, or they're of marriageable age, send them a right partner when you deem it fit, when it's right. I get that. Our parents want us to thrive and get married and have our own kids. I get that. But they have never applied that kind of pressure. And I'm very grateful for that, because I see people, or I've known people who they've come from such families and they've been pressured into just getting married just so that it's said that, oh, they're married, and then the marriages are horrible. I'm looking at this girl like, why would she just assume all these things? Or why would she just feel like, oh, because we're in the same age bracket, I should be married? Yes, I understand that she's following the whole narrative and the whole thing of them born you go to school, you get a job, and then you get married. That's the timeline or whatever it is. What if I never want to get married? What if I never want to have kids? Does it occur to people, these people who are so nosy, these people who are so interested in us joining them in this thing called marriage, that maybe some of us do not want to? And you know that part where she said, oh, my husband has single friends. Sister, if we are the same age, I'm guessing your husband's age, yeah? So why are his friends single? Why are they not married as well? Or is it just because they are men and I am female that it is on me to have gotten married by this same age bracket that we're talking about? Okay, let's put that one aside. You know how you're having conversations with some people, and by people in this context, I mean females, and they'll tell you, oh, right from when I was a kid, I've always envisioned my marriage, how it's going to be, my, sorry, not marriage, my wedding, the dress I would wear, the colors, the whole, my bouquet. I cannot relate. I just can't, because I have never, ever, when I say ever, sat down to say, one day I'll get married, my dress will be like this. But it has never, even when I was a child, even when I was a teenager, even that time that you're beginning to become curious, and then, you know, boys and all of that, that has never crossed my mind. Tender age of, like, let me say 14, 15, I started understanding my kind of person and my personality. I already knew that I didn't want to get into something that was like what I was seeing. And when I mean seeing, I mean in movies, you read books, and even in real time. Yes, so I didn't want to go into all of that. I knew that there was also something, but it only started becoming clearer to me now that I'm older. The truth is, I have never thought about getting married. There's this very, very good friend of mine, Ebube, and we talk about this from time to time. And at first, he didn't get it. He was trying to understand where I was coming from and where I'm coming from. And after different conversations, he finally got it. You know, marriage is supposed to be lifelong, for as long as you guys live, yeah? And it's a partnership. I have a problem with being with someone for so long that is not a partner, is not as supportive in the real sense of it. And it stems from the very little things. And I know that there's so many people right now who are married who would probably watch this, or people out there who are even single that will watch this video and be like, oh, because I'm not married, I don't understand that some of these things that I might think or might say are very trivial. But the thing is, if these things matter to me and they would worry me or make me feel some type of way, shouldn't my partner be aware of them, and shouldn't he be considerate and be helpful, and vice versa? I would do the same for him, because I don't necessarily buy into this long suffering that they sell to you when they're selling the whole thing of marriage. I understand that yes, there are ups and downs that couples go through, but let it be that the ups and downs are things that are weighty, things that I don't know, I'm not expressing myself the way I ought to, but you know, like, oh, you have a sick child, you're dealing with that, or you're going through like a financial rough patch. You know, all those long suffering of things that maybe your partner would do, and then when you even try to talk about it, you get the whole, that's how men are. So you have to endure certain things that shouldn't be, like from one human being to another human being. So I have a problem with that. I also have a problem with you saying that you love someone and then you now punish the person. I know punish is not the word, but for me, I see it as punishment in marriages generally. It is the women that are the home keepers. That is what we've been taught. That is what we know. Why can't it be both of them are the home keepers? Instances like something happens, is the woman that is always praying about it, is the woman that is always going into war room to go and fix this thing called marriage. Why? I have a problem with that. I think it's selfish when you're in a union with someone that would not come halfway. So for me, it's the very little things, it's the minute things. It can even be things as little as, if I make the food, why don't you do the dishes? Yes, you can say, oh, you cook out of love, you clear out of love. You to love me enough to help me. It was a while ago that there was this conversation on Twitter where people were like, mostly single people were like, oh, imagine a situation whereby you press toothpaste from the middle and then your partner presses it from the top and there's a problem, and then some married people come and they're like, oh, when people get married, you know that all these things are trivial. I get that, but what of those people that these things matter to? Because I believe that you see the small things, they start adding up and they start building up, and then when a big thing happens, they add these little things that have piled up and they add it to the big thing, and it goes kaboom in your face. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but I think the word is wary of ending up with someone who we can say loves me, but would make me feel like if you loved me in totality, you wouldn't do XYZ. I think I've been very wary of that. A lot of people watch this and say, oh, when you get married, you know that all those things are trivial and just, why? Don't the things that matter to me, shouldn't they matter even when we're married and we're together? Shouldn't this love that made us decide to come together help us be selfless? To remember that the other person might not be 100% all the time, and then you have to come through, like find a balance. Why does it always have to be? I think I generally just have that problem of this, like I said, long suffering that they sell to women when it comes to marriage. I really have a problem with it, and I've seen things happen, I've witnessed things, I've heard things, and I do not want that for myself. And if it means not getting married, so be it. And nobody will die that Grace Gigi didn't get married. I know that my family members watch my videos and there might be a conversation around this, but I'm just saying it as I feel it. What if I now said here that I almost got married at some point in my life and it didn't work out, and not for one day did I say, oh, I should have gotten married by now, or reach out to the person involved and want to know why. What if I say I just walked away and never looked back, and I don't feel any regrets, or I don't feel some type of way? What if, no, let's just put it out there. What if I said that happened at some point in my life? But I would also say that in recent times, with certain things that have happened to me and people that I have met, I have also seen that there are people who are out there who would meet that full 50% and make it 100. I don't know if I'm making sense. So now, in recent times, I have been open to the possibility that, oh, I will get married and I will have kids. And it's only because, like I said, I have now just in recent time met someone or people that have shown me that their actions have shown me that it's not as bad as it is in your head. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So if I probably didn't meet these kind of people, or if I didn't meet that person, I probably still would be, I won't even say on the fence because I was really closed off, but now I'm more open to getting married. But what I'm trying to say is that this thing that society has done is, it needs to be undone. A friend of mine who we went to the same secondary and then the same uni, get married, and she cut a lot of us, her single friends, off. And then 3 months into her getting married, I remember the conversation she had with me where she asked me about someone I was dating at the time, and I told her we had gone our separate ways, and it hurt. She said that, oh, I wasn't serious and I needed to get married, and that she also offered to hook me up with her husband's friend. And I'm like, you're barely into it. Why do you think you have that right to come at me and say certain things? So yes, we're judged for being a certain age and not being married. We're judged for saying or even thinking it that no, we never want to get married. It's painful when people do not understand that the very bad marriages and situations and all whatnot out there has hurt a lot of us. They've messed with our mindset and formed this thing in our minds or in our heads where we're like indifferent. I'm one of those people who for a very long time was indifferent about it. And I remember having a conversation with my big sis, like our firstborn, and I told her that, do you know, I've never, even with my cousin Amaka, I told them that I've never ever sat down to think about marriage, like, okay, I'm a certain age, I should be getting married. I've never. Instead, I'm more worried about where I ought to be career-wise, financially, you know, my state of mind, my mental health. I'm more worried about that than getting married. Even though now I have said that I'm open to it, only because I have now met people or someone who has, through their actions, have made me see that there are actually people out there who, I'm not saying that, oh, if I got married to a certain person, we wouldn't have, you know, our own challenges, because I feel every stage in life has, even as a single person, I have my own challenges. How much more coming together with someone else? But my old classmates saw me and judged me because I'm not married. People should help me tell her that it's not by force. So if you're watching this and you're one of those people who are are married and you're all up in single girls' faces, like your friends telling them, oh, they ought to be married, or you're giving them some type of attitude, or you're even a single girl who you're a certain age and then you're beating yourself up about the fact that you're not married. I just want you to understand that it's not a do or die affair. Don't get me wrong, you get married, there's some marriages that are beautiful, you know, even though everything comes with its own rough patches. But I also want you to understand that it is not a do or die affair. And yes, people, especially in the society that we're in, will look at you and judge you and come up with all sorts of assumptions and conclusions. Some will even tell you that you led a very rough or naughty lifestyle when you were younger, and then you chased all the men away. There are all sorts out there, but I want you to understand that self-love and finding yourself first is very important. 2019 stroke this current year, 2020, they've been years where I have really come to find myself, come to love myself, understand myself enough to be able to now say, okay, if I was to share my life or space with someone else, it wouldn't be a mess. My classmate judged me, but because I know where my mind is at and I understand my process, I just let it slide and let people live, let people breathe. And no, I am not saying all of this because I'm not married and I'm just trying to make myself better. It is what it is. Those who know me, those who have had conversations with me know that I mean every single word of what I'm saying, and I just think that people need to chill. It's all good. If she knew better, she would do better, she would say better, she would be better. So don't be that person. Anyway guys, that's it. My story time. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.